Hey guys, I said I wanted to start sharing a little bit more of my home stuff here. So I am working on our raised garden beds. My father-in-law actually built these over the winter when they stayed with us for Christmas. They stayed about a month and I designed them and he built them. I'm now staining them with food safe stain that I got from Gardener's Supply, and it's a cedar color. I wanted to do this color because they actually match the beam in our front porch. I'm also slowly lining them with landscape fabric. I'll kind of walk you through that here. It's an experiment. We have a lot of deer. I've heard that the deer don't eat anything because it's so lush around here. I've heard lots of stories from you guys on Instagram that they eat everything no matter what. I think it kind of just depends. And the thing is, we're just gonna go with it. One of the neighbors says, they don't eat anything. One says they ate everything, but they're more of like in a clear field. So we'll just see how it goes. And then of course, we're surrounded by trees, so we don't get a lot of sunlight here, or at least we didn't last year until they cleared a lot of the forest behind us. The person who owned it did some forest thinning for the health of the forest, all the older trees. So it opened up quite a bit of light, and I think we're good. Let me show you the beds. Here they are. There are 6 of them. They are 4 by 8. They are slightly angled because initially we thought we were going to have to put them in our front yard. And then when they cleared, you can see a lot of the remnants of the trees are still taking them away. When they cleared a lot of the trees that would block this whole canopy really thick, I just think we're going to get enough light here now. So we're trying it. 4 by 8. They're 18 inches deep. I wanted to have really deep raised beds because we did some in Ohio that were 6 and 8 inches, and it just didn't do so well because I think the soil had a hard time draining. It was very clay-like, and this structure is even more clay-like. So I'm doing this staining here. I've gotten a couple of the beds done. I will show you what the stain actually looks like here. Gardener's Supply Company. I got it in Lakeside Cedar. Love the color. Super easy to put on. It is food safe, like I said. So I am staining them all and then lining them with landscape fabric. So working on that right now. Here's a close-up you can Okay guys, I am out here again, continuing the garden beds. Another day, super bright, even warmer. I had to put a t-shirt on. I'm never cold, but today is like 72 and the sun is bright. So warm, but I'm gonna show you what I've done. I ran out of stain for the last 2 garden beds, so I'm gonna have to order some more for that. But now I'm working on lining the garden beds here. Here's what I am doing. I lined them with landscape fabric. We bought a whole roll, 300 feet at our local landscape store, and I made 3 passes. So it's 3 feet wide. So I did one here and I'm overlapping each one. And then now I'm working on the corners. Originally my idea was just to go all the way across, and then I realized, well, I don't have to waste all that fabric in the middle. So I'm just cutting sections, and this turned out even better because I can actually get to the corners. So let me come closer. I just am stapling it on the corner. You can see right there, all the way down. And then I'm going to add landscape fabric now, or landscape staples to the bottom. And I'm using a hammer because we have really tough clay soil, which is why I'm doing the raised beds in the first place, because our soil just doesn't ever drain and we get way too much water. Like, this is muddy and it hasn't rained in at least a week. It's supposed to pour on Friday all day, but that's why I'm doing the raised beds. So it's coming. You can see I have all of these ones left. Like I said, I'm going to stain those 2. I have 3/4 of a can left. So depending on how this lining goes, I will stain just the tops and the insides, like the first 6 inches, like I did around here, of the rear 2, and that way I can get them all lined. I may not get to that. This is taking me forever. And there's not a lot the kids can help me with. Like, I have them help me when they can, but this just needs to be precise. The stapler is really hard to use. It's a one-person kind of job. After all of the beds are lined, this is why I bought a whole roll. It's 300 feet. I want to line this entire area with fabric, and then we'll put wood chips. Eventually, I think I would like to do some sort of pea gravel, but I think for this year, wood chips is probably the cheaper option. I don't even know how many tons this would take, but we shall see. One step at a time. I'm kind of just letting it go or develop as I work here. All right, there are 2 of them done. I'm going to be finished for the day if this is just a long-term project. But 2 of the beds are done, and then when we have them all finished, we'll have soil delivered, and I'll make some compost in there. And these hopefully will be some really great long-term beds. The color looks even better. Second day now that it has dried. Very pleased with it. Out here again, guys. I finished lining the 4 beds that were stained. I ran out of stain, so I ordered some more, and now I'm doing the fun part, which is working on lining the grass. It's just coming out so good. I am thrilled because I totally see the vision. This part is so fast. I am loving this part. Okay guys, this is probably going to be the end of the progress for at least a few days, because it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, and then it is going to be kind of wonky weather next week. So we'll see how it goes. But I got this side done. I did the whole thing, and then the kids are finishing up that part there. It just looks so different already. I am super thrilled with how it has turned out, because I can picture it, and I am pumped. Okay guys, we are back for another day. We made a lot more progress. The kids are helping me fill the bottom part of the garden bed with logs. They're actually doing this themselves. I need to patch that there, staple it again. We watched Garden Answer. I saw a couple articles. It just helps you not use so much soil first, and then second, the logs break down over time and it adds nutrients to the soil. So we have a few of them done. I've gotten all the garden beds lined. It's going really well. These are just logs that we had in the perimeter of the landscape of our property here. from the prior owners. So I just have a little bit more to do here, and then we're gonna keep going over here. I gotta do the beds still, these last two. I ordered the stain, it just hasn't come yet. And then I'm gonna keep going out here. I was trying to decide, well, what shape do I want here? The kids ninja said this was probably the best spot for it, so we put it there. Wasn't a whole lot what else we could do, because you have to have a certain distance between the two trees, and we wanted it to be soft, so it's fine. I'm just gonna try and figure out what kind of bed or what kind of shape that we want to do. The other thing is that I went to the landscapers today and found some stone. I was going to do wood chips, and then my husband said, because I told him we'd probably have to top it off every year, and he said, well, let's be one and done. So I was thinking pea gravel, and we just weren't so sure it was going to be the look that we wanted. The other thing is that pea gravel can shift underfoot. We weren't sure. So he said, you know what, go ahead and go and ask the landscaper and see what else they have. So we did that. I went and asked, and they had these Brassfield stones. They are brown color, so they actually match this really well, and they are smaller and they're flat. They're not round like pea gravel. He said it makes them compact super well. He showed us an installation they did last year with those same stones, and it was exactly the look that I wanted. So I'm going to back up here. You can see so close. We have to get this completely done with landscape fabric, and we're going to do this side too. And then what we have to do is get galvanized steel edging. So we'll edge all along the pavement, we'll edge the whole perimeter, and then we'll be ready for them to dump the stones, and we will gradually fill in around, and then we'll be ready for them to dump the dirt. We're getting some good topsoil in, I'll mix in some compost, and then we'll be done with the garden beds. Now I still want to build an arbor, a rustic arbor from all the sticks we've been gathering in the forest. So it's a progress. It's coming along. I'm very excited. We are using our one sunny day this week because it's going to rain Tuesday through Friday. Today is Monday, the 21st of March, and we're just making slow and steady progress.